entire cutting of this thing. I know this will get boring as all get out, so I'll show it later on. Well, that's pretty good. It could be better, but hey, what do you expect? My first knob. Well, my radius cutter works. It needs a handle. What more can I say? I made a knob with it. That's that was my intention. And if anyone really wants to know how I built mine, there's a lot of them out there. Mine's not any better certainly than the rest of them out there, but I had only half-inch plate. I think it was half-inch by 10 piece of flat bar, and I cut a couple of squares, roughly 5 inches square, drilled holes in the end, and made some they're not T-nuts, they're really just flat nuts Took a piece of 1/4 inch flat bar, ground it down to where it would fit in my bottom part of the T-slots, and drilled and tapped them for these 5/16 holes. This piece right here really just sits in there. It will come out. There's a piece of 1-inch shaft on the end of it. I originally tapped it, and the plate. Alright, this is my radius turner. I started showing it earlier, and my battery died and I couldn't film anymore, so I had to stop and recharge the camera, and I went off and did some other things. But I want to show exactly how I made mine. I actually copied the basic working principle of others on the YouTube that have made these things, because they work very good on the YouTube, but I actually built it my way to adapt to what I had to work with. It's made out of a 1/2-inch plate. As you can see, I have taken 2 1/2-inch plates, cut them 5 by 5, and I have welded 2 plates together. The reason I made it that way was because of the spacing of my tracks. And I have under the bottom of mine a couple of little flats with holes drilled in them where they will ride in the slide. Got a little groove here that I roughed out because I have a oiler here, and I have another screw that, you know, my compound is sitting on it pretty much, and it doesn't show. But anyway, just a real slight grind that I made there. I have a center hole here that was countersunk to go in my turner. Let's see if it'll slide out of here. It's a little bit tight, but I don't use it. One reason, it sits in there so good, I don't need it, and all it does is put extra resistance into it. And this is a piece of 1-inch shaft that I made and bored through a piece of 1/2-inch plate that I turned down on the lathe. And I originally had 2. You can see the holes here where I had bolted the bottom one, but this was part of my plan. It did not work. It raised it up too high. And when you don't have a plan and don't have accurate measurements, a lot of times you got to take a step backwards to ever get anywhere. So I had to take the bottom one off to keep from raising it up too high. Here's a piece of 3/4 key stock. It's just a straight piece of key stock, and here on each side I don't have very much milling capability. About the only milling I can do is if I can mount something here and mount a milling bit in my lathe. That's about the best milling, and that's kind of poor. So I cut 2 pieces of 1/2-inch stock, laid them down here, and I actually welded mine. Welded mine on here. It's not important, I guess, to see the weld. This thing is heavy, extremely heavy. So you know, I welded them on. I squeezed them kind of tight when I put it in there, where they would be as good as a milled track. And then I placed it on my lathe, and I brought it over here to my tailstock with a countersink in it that had a sharp point that will show me where the center is that I needed to be. And I got the distance from here to here, and I have this small piece here that I cut. It had a groove that I have cut, 1/4 inch here. I have a couple of 1/4 set screws in the top to hold this little cutting bit, easily changeable. drill 3/4 20 screws in the side. As you can see, the spacing is not even because it didn't matter. That's to hold the slide in place. They can be loosened and slid up. Usually it's just easier to loosen this on the cutting piece and slide it a little bit one way or the other. And it should be able to use it to turn it around and put the bit in the other way and use it for you know, cutting concave surfaces as well as cutting round surfaces. But anyway, I just thought I would show. I'm always interested in how others build their stuff. I usually go about things my own way because I didn't buy anything to make this. I had screws, I had this 1/2-inch plate. I already had these little milling bits. So now I have a radius turner. Like I said, it did not cost me anything. A little bit of time. It works very well. It's extremely solid feeling. I've been operating with my fingers without a handle so far. I'm going to build a handle, but yeah, I'm not going to do it right now. That's my first little knob that I made. I mounted it on my mounted it on my compound. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.